lot harder.
Double left hand again. That hurt Tomashek. Dancing. It wasn't a voluntary dance. That time, however, he's...
Well, he just got whacked with a good...
It was August 30th, 1993. Tommy Morrison was about to defend his world title for the first time in his own hometown. But hours before the bell, his opponent walked out, refusing a drug test he was supposed to take. Morrison was ready to call the whole fight off. But as soon as the news hit the crowd, a drunk fan sitting in the crowd decided to save the night by stepping into the ring against Morrison.
Let's welcome the challenger, Tim the Doughboy Tomashek.
12 weeks earlier, Morrison had outboxed George Foreman to win the WBO heavyweight title. This was supposed to be his first defense against Mike Williams, a fighter he'd sparred with for years and shared the screen with in Rocky V. Thousands of fans were already in their seats, and the champion needed an opponent.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
In the 12th row sat Tim Tomashek, several beers into watching the undercard, with no idea he'd be fighting anyone that night. His manager came sprinting through the crowd with the offer. "Get back to the hotel. You're fighting Tommy Morrison for the heavyweight championship in an hour." Without much hesitation, Tomashek said yes.
Well, he's a character, that's for sure.
Yeah, he really is. He's just got the right attitude about this. People in this sport take this thing much.
Now, for those of you that have not seen ESPN a couple of times, I wonder how he and Wes Ramey came up with the...
Tomashek fought a couple of weeks ago at the Missouri State Fair in Sedalia.
Well, he just got wetting himself in a position where he can be hit by that left hook of Morrison.
Tommy Morrison can punch.
Yeah. And I give Foreman credit that when he got hit with a couple of those big left hooks, he didn't go down.
Well, that left hand, even though it hit him in the chest, made Tim Tomashek dance, and it wasn't a voluntary dance.
There you see the double left, and if you need to be able to whack. He's trying to keep his left hand real high because he knows that hook is. He kind of shows Tommy Morrison.
And there's already a little running around the left. Tomashek continues to clown.
Frenetic movement over a number of rounds.
Still a little swelling under his right eye already, and that could pose a problem. But Morrison's jab is really right there. That was the left.
Make him work against Morrison is another question.
And Tommy Morrison for the WBO championship.
Morrison, ranked the number 4 heavyweight in the world, had tipped the scales at 226 pounds. Tomashek, who'd walked in straight from the crowd, weighed in 20 pounds lighter. As the first round opened, Morrison worked behind his jab, feeling out a fighter he'd never once seen throw a punch before that night.
Larry Holmes running around that ring, jabbing, doing his shtick.
Everybody gets 15 minutes in the spotlight, and this is Tim Tomashek.
And Tommy Morrison in this round looks like he'd like to make it. Just he's giving us a little commentary. You know, I said he was doing well with the jab. I lied. 12 out of 37 for jabs for Tomashek. 12 out of 17 for jabs. Call me a liar.
What Tomashek doesn't want to do is get too brave here. That would be a serious mistake.
Yeah, because he'll get whacked.
Morrison didn't even crank the hook that much. Blood from the nose of Tomashek.
One of the things this fight gives, so you know, Tomashek kind of playing with Danny Campbell. The refereeing in this state, I have to say, they're very active. They're always around the fighters. They break the clinches a lot quicker and everything. You have to be ready for that.
That serves to...
Put your hands down.
At all.
No, he's doing his best. Enough movement against Morrison to try. Tommy Morrison looking for the hook. There he landed it. It almost borders, it doesn't border on, it becomes intrusive to the fight, in truth.
Work at it.
Tomashek making a conscious effort to protect against that.
Hands up, Gray.
He knows that's the big weapon for Tommy Morrison.
Hands up, Gray. Work in there. Work now, work.
Nice combination.
10 seconds, work at it.
In the end of the second round. Oh, Morrison didn't shake his hand. He hit him with the right hand. End of 2.
By the second round, it was clear Tomashek wasn't folding. He kept darting in with looping left hands and dancing back out of range, grinning at the crowd in between. He had nothing to lose, and he fought like it, like a man who genuinely believed he could pull off the upset of his life.
For that moment. That was a Kodak moment. This is the punches. Tim's getting his moment here, isn't he? And meanwhile, Tommy Morrison's starting to whack him with left hooks. Tomashek's going to make him mad if he does too.
Keep him up, Now inside work. Inside work.
I'll say this too, he has taken some big left hooks from Morrison and has not been hurt badly by conversation with the referee.
Yes, and Muggy.
Break out.
And backhands.
Where because of the ever constant and ever omnipresent Tomashek. Punch for Tommy, but he has a good right hand.
And jab well.
Well, he just missed the right hand.
Work and hands are free. Hands are free. I'll let you work.
Scored a technical knockout over him back in November of 1990. Since that time, however, he's lost a few fights, but he hasn't been off his feet.
And it looks like he may last through the third here against Morrison.
He's hurting yet. You know, Morrison was there for that right hand, but it's just that Tomashek does not have the power to, I don't believe, to really hurt Morrison.
Working there now. Stop it. Break out there. We're wrapping it
Tim
up.
Tomashek has gotten through 9 minutes of this fight now. And we'll be back with more from Kemper Arena in Kansas City.
By round 3, the hometown crowd had started pulling for the underdog. "Tommy, don't hurt him," one fan shouted as Morrison landed another clean jab. Tomashek just kept smiling back, still moving, still talking between punches, even though the judges' cards told a very different story. He was already falling well behind.
This crowd's getting a little restless. I think they want to see Tommy out and defend his WBO heavyweight title.
Through the first 3 rounds, Morrison with a decided edge. Very high connect percentage. Actually, Morrison, I think, doing pretty good.
Well, the problem is when you tell the crowd, tell the world that some guy got pulled in from the arena, even though he is a fighter who was ready to fight someone else on this card, and he's not a top 10 heavyweight, he's a journeyman, they start to expect you to whack the guy out early, and he might have been able to knock out Mike Williams easier than the Doughboy because of the way they fight.
Keep him up. Stop! Break out! Break out!
To hang in there. So Morrison
Doesn't want to be made to look silly.
no.
Working that hands are free. Hang on. Stop! Break out!
Been in this state. They're going to get on me for this, but I'll tell you what, I've never seen it. It's just, I know that the intentions are good to try and keep the fight moving, but it's very
Stop! Break out! Break.
Good left hand, he cranked that one, did Morrison. Double left hand, that buckled the knees of Tomashek. I think Morrison has Tomashek hurt for the first time.
This is the referee. They almost got it with the right hand. You got to let them fight their way because you never know when the breaks are coming. Now Morrison starts swelling around the eyes of Tim Tomashek.
Working there. Hands are free, gentlemen. Hands are free.
And interestingly, it's the right, not the left, that's doing a lot of big damage, although that hook got in there.
Tomashek laying in on Morrison a lot more in this round than he has been.
He's being hit a lot harder.
Good double left hand again. That hurts Tomashek. And down goes Tomashek in the barrage of punches. Still a little wobbly. Can't be saved by the bell, remember.
Step back, work.
But he's going to get through it.
With 1 minute left in the 4th round, Morrison finally landed the punches that mattered, a pair of hard lefts that staggered Tomashek, followed by a combination that put him down for a count of 6. He beat the count and got back to his feet, but the referee had already seen enough. Tomashek's eyes were swelling shut, and the ringside physician refused to clear him for another round. Fans hurled ice chips into the ring in protest as the fight was waved off. Afterward, Morrison admitted the truth everyone in the building already suspected. "I didn't know I was fighting what's-his-name till I got out there," he said. The WBO was so unimpressed by the whole circumstance that it later refused to sanction the result, quietly wiping it from the official title record. Tomashek got his 15 minutes anyway, including a spot on Late Night with David Letterman, while Morrison moved one step closer to the fight he actually wanted, a date with Lennox Lewis.